Hey YouTube, this is Anthony, also known as Black Mamba FPV. And quick, pop quiz. You're gonna go on a trip and you wanna travel light. Do you take your Sony mirrorless camera or do you take your iPhone? All right. For some, that's a silly choice. Obviously, you're gonna take the most high-end camera that you possibly can. But what if I tell you space is limited and you can get the same great, smooth, buttery footage and great content and colors with a really small, cool product that just clips right on your phone? Stay tuned, I'm going to tell you all about it. Now I had the pleasure of getting an opportunity to try out a filter system by SandMarc. Now this is a dual purpose or hybrid filter that is both a neutral density filter and a polarizer, and it comes in 3 strengths. It comes in ND16, ND32, and ND64. The website for SandMarc actually has a lot of the applications, and you should use one filter set over the next. But I got an opportunity to do some traveling both to Mexico and a couple places here in Colorado, and I captured some content, and I want to be able to show you a little bit about what this little product can do. One of the things I like the most about this filter system is that it really allows me to have that motion blur that I really like. I typically like to shoot with more of a cinematic style. You've got a little bit of motion blur, and you can see from some of the video that I've shot here that I like a little bit of motion blur, and I think that's what really kind of sets your iPhone footage off a little bit better than most. To install the SandMarc filter, you simply screw on the NDfilter that you'd like to use. Take the clip it onto the back of your phone, making sure that it covers all 3 of your lenses. For my case, 3 lenses because I have the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Overall impression of this filter system, I think it's brilliant. It's super easy to use, convenient. Most of the time I had it in my pocket ready to go when I was on my trip. I didn't have to carry my big camera because I knew that I could capture great content with this filter system, as I got a chance to test it way before I ended up leaving for my trip to Mexico. The one issue I would say that I have is I have the iPhone 13 Pro Max, and I had a little bit of trouble getting the universal clip over my case, but could simply take the camera phone out of the case and use it that way. SandMarc actually does make a filter system that's built into a case that I think that would be ultimately the most brilliant thing to use with this, because at that point you'd still have the protection of the case and you can just screw in the filters into the back, which I think is probably one of the better options for the iPhone. One other thing I've noticed with this filter is I think that you need to use a different camera app. I'd use the native camera app that comes on the iPhone, the one that we've all used. You're not able to really dial in a lot of the control you need for, to be able to take, the same level of picture that you would with my Sony mirrorless or whatever you're working with. The native camera app simply adjusts when you put on the filter. It doesn't really allow you to fine-tune things, but what I did is I decided to download a camera app called ProCamera. The ProCamera app lets you manipulate a lot of the features that you normally would if you were shooting with, a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. You're able to punch in, the shutter speed that you want, and, kind of select a lot of the features that you would on a more of a, a consumer grade or prosumer level camera. And I think that's what really allows this filter to really sing. I was able to capture things with my iPhone that I never was able to capture with before, and I love it. Now, this app was $14.99, so you know, if you're going free, then you can use the native app. There was other options that you could use as well, but I like the features and the functions of ProCamera. You know, maybe I would use another one. I tested a couple others, but ProCamera was the one that actually spoke the closest language to me, to using my camera. But ultimately, I liked it. It was easy to use, and I think that this is something that I'm going to carry with me more often as my family and I are on trips or walking around town, or just want to capture great pictures with the kids, as you've seen in some of the test footage that I gave. But let me know your thoughts. Is this something that you would use? You know, is this something that, you know, you potentially would be able to use on a trip, or, you know, when you're packing light, or maybe around town? Let me know in the comments. Well, ultimately, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Thanks. Keep flying.